Shalom, giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of the great millstone. Salutations to the Lord's elect, the elect of the nation of Israel, or Yasharala Israel, or Yasharala in the earth today consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. You are the Lord's chosen people, his peculiar treasure, and the apple of his eye. That includes the scattered, the Israelite foreigner brothers and sisters, speckled birds. The trap is set. This is a post put up by the People's Voice yesterday. Today is Friday, May the 22nd, 2026, the year of apostates, sellouts, and agents. Headline: healthcare providers forcing Americans to surrender biometric data for digital ID to earn medical care. And once again, the trap is set. The title for the video was inspired by the last sentence of this article, as a matter of fact. Lord wills, we'll get to that, but if we don't, that's where the title comes from, because Esau, Edom, beginning with the mount of the Edomites to the Jewish international banking families, are ready to pull the trigger, man, okay, and trap you people up. All right, and a lot of our people, many of our people, the unbelievers, are going to be caught up, man. All right, they're going to succumb to the temptation, right, and ultimately bow down to the image of Baal and take that RFID microchip, which is the MOTB. They're going to do that right along with Esau, the so-called white man, and those retarded ass heathens that are too dumb to go back to their own countries. You know, they're going to get caught in this trap as well. And the only ones who are going to escape the snare that Esau has set out there are the elect, man, and the believers, man. All right, the remnant. Okay, only a remnant is going to return to the Lord in these last days. Isaiah, the 11th chapter comes to mind, among others. And it starts with the 144,000, right? His servants, the prophets. All right, included in that number are the men, women, and children among Israel, or Yasharallah, who have been given this gift of faith. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get it. So like you milk scripture, but let's read it for edification's sake. Got a few other precepts lined up. We'll skim through this article. It's a quick read, but anyway, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 3. Getting right to the point. In verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience. Are you speaking to the elect, right? This is Yahushua speaking to the elect. Okay, Yahushua, the Redeemer of the nation of Israel, or Yasharallah, beginning with the elect, right? Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, which that word patience goes into long suffering, right? I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. So we're going to be preserved, Lord willing. That's us. You know, starts at the top with the pillars of the church, the elder apostles, the great millstone on down. Lord willing, it's us, man. All right, Lord willing, we're going to be kept, all right, from this hour. Okay. I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Yep. So this is going to try, all right, all the people All right. Verse 11 reads, behold, I come quickly. Right? Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Yeah, we got to hold on to this truth, man. Okay, we got to hold on tight. All right, stay in the doctrine. Okay. Let's see, Salaki. Let me get some other precepts real quick. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 10, and verse 8. He sitteth in the lurking places, talking about Esau. Okay, the wicked of Salakia, the wicked nation of people in this earth are the Edomites. Edom. All right, the so-called white race. Okay. And this is specifically speaking to Lord Rothschild, Lord Rockefeller, right? The international bankers, those people, the Ishes, right? Small hats, the tiny tops, Amalek. Psalms chapter 10 and verse 8. Psalms chapter 10 and verse 8. Rather, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doeth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. Right? He's got his eyes on you Israelites, man, because you are the poor people in this earth. Now, we're rich in faith, man. We've been given, all right, this gift of faith. That's how we're rich, okay? But in the physical sense, the nation of Israel is on the bottom right now, as a whole, okay? Verse 9, he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. Again, he's laying the trap, man. Okay? He's going to trap up a lot of our people, man. Okay? 2/3 of our people are going to be deceived into going along with this program. Okay? Healthcare systems are now openly forcing patients to surrender their biometric data, fingerprints, facial scans, iris patterns, or risk losing access to medical care and benefits. We talk about it a lot, man, through the power and spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai. All right, they're going to force you into a corner. They're going to steadily isolate you from society, okay, until you have nowhere to go. And that's why this time is going to require us to have a tremendous amount of faith in the Lord, man. We're going to have to rely on the Lord totally and completely, man. See, right now it's easy, right? Because, we in our homes tonight, we go to the grocery store, we eating, we can get in a car and go to work, etc., etc., etc. Okay, but in the very near future, we're all gonna be forced into this corner. Okay. And have to make that choice, man. Okay. I don't want to Lord wills, the Holy Spirit, Rakakwadash, continues to sup with us. All right. And we resist. Okay. Let's see. It says, continuing on, this isn't optional. Hospitals, insurers, and big tech partners are rapidly rolling out biometric verification across portals. Telehealth and digital records refuse to comply, and you're locked out. See? Outcasts, man. Which we already outcast. We don't belong to this world. We just passing through it. We're not tied to it. We've disconnected from this world system, right? We've repented. We've come out of this Babylonian hell through the Spirit. Okay? And so we don't mind being locked out. Okay? Gates of Hell, Gil Bates famously admitted the end game except digital ID or be excluded from society. He wasn't joking. Nope. And a lot of our people think this is a big fucking joke, man. A lot of men who preach the Bible and call themselves elders even think this is a joke. They scoff and mock at the fact that, The RFID microchip is the mark of the beast. Okay? Call us conspiracy theorists, call us, Alex Jones prophets. I mean, it's retarded, man. Okay? Those dudes is going to be destroyed in that lake of fire, man, which is America. America will be turned into a lake of fire, which will be complements of those intercontinental ballistic missiles that nations are going to shoot on us for, and those laser beams that the chariots of the Lord are going to be firing on this place. Okay? So yeah, man, well, it's like I lost my train of thought. Let's get another preset real quick. It's like, this is the book of Psalms again, chapter 38, this time in verse 12, getting right to the point. They also that seek after my life lay snares for me. Okay? Lay snares for me. And they that seek my hurt speak mischievous things and imagine deceits all the day long. That's what these elites are doing, man. They're speaking mischievous things, talking about, needing this, technology, this charagma, this implant to be able to participate in society, to be able to eat, okay, to be able to survive, okay. They're imagining deceits all the day long, man. Okay? And we have to, again, we're going to have to rely on the Lord completely and totally, all right, to keep us from this, man. All right? There's another one in the Psalm. There's several in the Psalms, but one came to mind because I had this one lined up. Yeah. Again, this is a Psalm of David, Psalm, the 141st chapter, and verse 9, and it reads, keep me from the snares, right? From this trap, okay? Keep me from the snares which they have laid for me. Okay, because you Israelites are the number one target of Esau. Okay, Esau wants to put you into a digital gulag, man. He wants to put you on a plantation one more time in a digital sense. He wants to turn you into a cyborg. Okay, he wants your soul, man. Keep me from the snares which they have laid for me, and the gins of the workers of iniquity, right? The workers of iniquity, right? The Edomites. Okay. Again, the mount of Esau, the elites. Let the wicked, verse 10, fall into their own nets. That's what's going to happen. Okay? Whilst that I withal escape. See, at the end of the day, they're going to be taken, man. They're going to fall into the pit which they dug for the Israelites. Okay? Period. Let's get that. Slakia. All right, it's the book of Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 27. Whoso diggeth the pit shall fall therein. Right. Okay, Esau's going to fall into this pit, man. Okay. It says, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him. Okay. Let's go to Ecclesiastes this time. Slakia. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, or Sirach, chapter 27 and verse 26, and it reads, whoso diggeth the pit shall fall therein. See? The Edomites are going to fall, man. Okay? They are going to fall. They are falling. All right? How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Okay? The elites are falling, man, and the whole nation of Edom is going to fall. Okay? This is the end of their rulership. Okay? Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that setteth a trap, right? And he that setteth a trap shall be taken therein. He that worketh mischief, verse 27, shall fall upon him, and he shall not know whence it cometh. Yep. These Edomites are in trouble, man. Okay? They're not going to realize it's coming. At the end of the day, it's coming from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. It's going to catch them by surprise. They're going to be celebrating their victory. It's going to be a short-lived one, by the way. Salakia. So like you wanted to go out. But yeah, man. This is gonna, uh, this is gonna be a short-lived victory. They're gonna be in their bunkers, the elites, right, hiding from the judgment of the Lord. Okay, but it says that while he's eating, all right, what's gonna happen? All right, the destruction is gonna rain down on his head, man. Okay, roughly paraphrasing the book of Job. Okay, World War III is gonna take him out of power, man. All right. So they're gonna get, they're gonna get a lot of people, man. Okay. Billions of people are gonna take this MOTB. All right. But at the end of the day, they're going down, man. Back to the article. Again, it's a really quick read. It says the healthcare industry claims this is about fighting cyber attacks and identity fraud. Yet, after decades of catastrophic data breaches that expose hundreds of millions of Americans' sensitive health records, their solution isn't less digitization, it's more invasive tracking. Now, instead of securing or reducing vulnerable systems, they're doubling down on biometrics. Companies like OneCosmos are pushing government ID checks combined with biometric matching and liveness detection just to let patients access their own medical information. Now they're using fears of AI deepfakes and impersonation as the latest excuse. Partnerships like Zoom with Tools for Humanity are rolling out real-time human verification tech for virtual doctor visits. Every interaction must be biometrically approved. This is the classic security arms race they always win. Create digital dependency, suffer endless breaches, then demand even more personal data as the fix. Right. Again, this is all part of that order out of chaos. They create the chaos and they bring about the order. Also problem, reaction, solution. Right. The problem is, lack security. Okay, get a reaction, and they come with a solution. Right? In a nutshell. Okay. The biometric healthcare market is exploding, continuing on toward $4.5 billion by 2034. Hospitals and insurers aren't protecting you. They're building a permanent digital prison. That's spiritual, because I talked about these elites want to put you into a digital gulag. I hadn't skimmed this far into the article. I did scroll down to the end. That's where I got the title for the lesson, but it says they're building a permanent digital prison where your face, fingerprints, and eyes become mandatory keys to healthcare. This is no longer medicine. It's biological surveillance disguised as care. Americans now face a brutal choice: surrender your unique biometric identity to the system and embrace the mark of the beast. See, these people who run this website, they know that it's the chip, man. So what's wrong with you Israelites? Okay? We know what's wrong with you. You're apostate. Okay? You false teachers talk about you wolves in sheep's clothing. You're apostates. You're sellouts. You sold out. Okay? Because you know it's the MOTB. You just taking the bag, man. Okay? It says, Americans now face a brutal choice: surrender your unique biometric identity to the system and embrace the mark of the beast, right? Or be denied treatment when you need it most. The trap is closing, right? The trap is closing. Yeah, ended up with Job chapter 18. Esau is done, man. This is Job chapter 18, picking it up in verse 5. Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out. Right? The light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. And the steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. We're watching this every day, when we turn on the news, right? Watch the news, by keeping up with current events and geopolitics, right? We're seeing this, man. Okay, in real time, it's playing out, man. Prophecy speaking. Okay, these prophecies ain't tarrying no more, right? It says the step again, Job chapter 18, verse 7. The steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. For he is cast into a net by his own foot, and he walketh upon a snare. Right? The gin shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. Snares lay for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. So at the end of the day, right, he's setting the trap, but he's going to be trapped. Right? He's going to be caught, and he's going to be taken down. So just something through the spirit I wanted to bring out, again, off of the people's voice, right? We're getting closer and closer, man, Time to repent. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. With that, I'm going to say shalom. Let's on to the next video.